Well, today I want to talk about Lenten roses. These are the flowers that come up during Lent, so that's March and April, and they flower. Now this is one of the old forms. What's really exciting is there are lots of new varieties out there. They've got a whole range of colors. As you can see, the flower dips a bit, so it doesn't really open up, but some of the new ones, the flower heads come up. And I want to show you some varieties that are out there and show you how you can propagate them and get more and more of these wonderful plants. What is really nice is that these are last year's leaves, and it's a perennial. Well, it's always classified as a perennial, but it's almost an evergreen. If the leaves were really bad, if it was a really bad winter, they would look a bit raggedy. You can see around the edge there, they've got a little bit browned. But this year, I'm going to leave them be. Oh, there's one there that's look a bit miserable. So this is typically how they look. I'm just going to snip him off and show you. But all through the summer and for most of the winter, the leaves can actually look quite attractive. So I've got a little display set up, a little demo table, and I'm going to show you how I separate them and how you can have lots and lots of these plants around your yard. The other nice thing is they breed between each other, and the little babies, the little seedlings that form can be unusual varieties. Come on, let's get cracking. Well, I've just dug these Hellebores, Lenten roses, out of my woodland garden. Hellebores are shade plants. They tend to like sun in the morning and then shade midday and in the afternoon, and then they will thrive. They're quite deep rooted, so they need a moisture retentive soil that's fairly easy to work. And once planted, they will give you years of display. Early this morning, I don't know if you noticed the WNEP mug. It's got a good use now. But look at the different variety of colors I've got. Look at this one. It's a double pink. And here's one of those deep original ones. But you can see the flower heads are standing up a little bit brighter, a little bit more upright. So look at the variegation on these leaves. This is last year's leaf, still very attractive. Kind of a yellowy middle and a dark green serrated edge, sawtooth edge. Very, very nice, and a palmate structure. So I'm going to pull out one of these and talk about how we can go about dividing them. You've got to be a little careful. Now what I'm going to do is actually wash away some of this soil, hence the rubber gloves on. I'm going to be dipping it into water right down here. So let's see if we can remove some of that soil. The same process, if you had a perennial that was invaded by a really nasty perennial weed and you can't get rid of a weed, sometimes you have to dig the plant out and wash all the soil away, and then you can decide what is your plant's roots and what is the other one. There we go, all washing away nicely. All right, perfect. You can see the amount of growth that's already taken place throughout March. This is going to be a little tricky to divide, so I'm going to actually saw using the serrated edge of this one through the middle here. It's like a bread knife, a little bit more. So the time to divide Hellebores is early spring, just as we're doing now. The plant may not look obviously the same, but it will have plenty of time in spring where it's cooler and wetter to keep growing and establish new roots, and next year will be really quite amazing. So I've got these two, and I'm thinking I could break this one in half. I'm breaking it apart, and there's a lovely clump, and there's an even better clump. I could divide that one again, shall I, or am I just being a bit greedy? Looks like it wants to break open. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one I'm going to put back in the original position, back in the yard. So I'm just pulling it apart very gently. That was a nice split. I think we could possibly get 2 out of this one. I'm just going to cut a little bit, see if I can break it. Hopefully enough root comes off. So planting it, again, rich soil, choose a position that gets a bit of sunlight in the morning, maybe a bit of morning sun, and then has shade in the afternoon. The other important thing is because these flower so early, if you have them down the end of your garden and it's March when they come into flower, you're not going to be down there to see them. So I like an entranceway where you come in And because they're almost evergreen, even when the flower has finished, the sepals, they change a different color and they still look fairly attractive. So they're a great plant for an entranceway that has a bit of shade. So there you go, Linton roses we've touched. There are things like Christmas roses, the stinking Hellebore we talked about before. It's kind of an interesting plant. But these, because of the range of color, flower power, are really an excellent garden plant for Northeast Pennsylvania. So seek them out. They're a little expensive, but they're well worth it.